Okay, well, markets plunging in Dubai and the UAE due to the debt situation. How far can those equities fall? Well, Rami Sidani is head of portfolio management for the Mideast and North Africa at Schroder. He joins us this morning from Beirut, Lebanon. And thank you so much for being with us. So certainly a big story we've been following, which also, the question that we haven't really gotten answered yet, though, and I'm sure it's just speculation at this point, is how likely, what is the likelihood that Dubai World could actually default on its debts?
Right. The question at this stage shouldn't be whether Abu Dhabi will support Dubai, because it will. The question should be when and how. Dubai is a necessity to the region, and after all, keep in mind the biggest creditor of Dubai is Abu Dhabi through their businesses, through their banks, through their investment arms. Accordingly, Abu Dhabi will support Dubai, but they will be very selective indeed.
So okay, but I want to get back, but Rami, I want to get back to that original question, which is what you're saying is that there is no chance of a default then.
An outright default is highly unlikely. Abu Dhabi cannot afford the direct and indirect ramification of Dubai going under. As I said, there are major financial consequences for this, in addition to the indirect ramifications of Dubai going under.
Rami, in the meantime,
an outright default is highly unlikely.
In the meantime, we do have uncertainties. So how does the professional investor play this? Do they sell if they've got exposure to Dubai? Do they sell that and then look at the gains they've made in other emerging markets, whether it's stocks or bonds this year, sell out of that portfolio so that you lock in some of the profit that you've seen as we get closer to the end of the year?
Right. Yeah. Naturally, markets were under severe pressure, and there's no discrimination at this time. So markets hit limit down at the opening with huge offers without buyers. That was expected. Unfortunately, we expect the sell-off to continue in the short term, at least until we get more clarification from the government. So the way this should be played, eventually the market will continue pricing an outright default, which in my opinion is highly unlikely. Hence the opportunity for people like us who understand the dynamics of the region, who understand the importance of Dubai to the Gulf and to Abu Dhabi in particular. And this is how we plan to position ourselves and weather into the storm.
Now, Rami, let me jump in here and ask, obviously in New York, when real estate goes on sale, it gets bought. The same is true for London. But what about Dubai? 30–40% vacancy. Does anyone really want to come in and buy vacant property in Dubai?
Right. First, there's a massive pool of liquidity in the region. This is something to be kept in mind. Dubai is the financial hub of the region. It has the infrastructure, and it's 10 or 15 years ahead of any other state within the Gulf. So this is a great asset to have. And if any of the assets of Dubai are up for sale, which is yet not the case, but if any of these assets are up for sale, people will be queuing to jump on these assets. Obviously, so far the government has highlighted that these assets are not for sale. They're not going to fire sale and dispose of them at distressed valuations. But if push comes to shove, buyers will be lining up.
Yeah, they're not at this point, but certainly those are the options that are being talked about in the markets. Rami, we've run out of time, but thank you so much for joining us. Rami Sidani of Schroders in Beirut.